Arkansas State, good team, 7-2, really good guard play, physical, aggressive, going to press us, probably zone us a little bit. Pretty impressive wins over Colorado State and Tulsa. Another team that's probably got a chance to win their league, like most of our non-league opponents so far. And we'll have to play well to try to get the outcome we like. So go ahead.
Coach, you were talking after the Mississippi Valley State game just about this team's desire to be good. Have you seen anything in the last couple of days of practice with them getting their minds right, as far as you know?
I mean, I think they've been playing hard in spurts. They practiced well yesterday. I mean, we didn't practice very long. It's finals week. But they went pretty hard yesterday. Nothing to be worried about in terms of not, trying to play the right way, I guess. Could always be more, for sure. I mean, we could definitely play harder for longer periods of time,
When you cut this little section, out of the season, you had this 3-game homestand. Just to be in position to get a sweep of these 3 games in finals week, into the break, just how you're feeling about that?
Well, it's always good to win, especially when you're home. And I think that, when you look at Murray State and Arkansas State, those are two quality opponents in terms of Missouri Valley standards. I think both those programs could compete in our league. So I think winning tomorrow would definitely do us some good. We've had a lot of close games and been up on the short end of the stick. And anytime you can win, and this time of year or any time of the year, it's always good to win. But definitely when you're playing at home and continue some type of a winning streak would be good. As we inch closer to league play, you want to try to be getting better with each and every game, each and every practice. And, we would have to, in order for us to win tomorrow, it's going to have to be a day where we got better, for sure, yeah.
And, I mean, looking at your next home game after tomorrow night is a Valley game.
Yeah.
Because it's here.
Yeah. It's, we're 10 games in. I think the season's about 30% over, 33% over. And, it kind of starts to go downhill, especially after Christmas, finals week, this week. And it'll be here before we know it. And I think most teams have about 3, maybe 4 non-league games left. And that's still a lot, when you think of how important each and every game is. But we've made some strides, but we need to continue to make some strides and hopefully be playing, continue to play better as Valley gets closer.
Are you happy with where you guys are at 10 games in?
Happy with what?
Just where the team is right now. I mean, record.
Not every single part of the team. No, we're not happy with every single part. I mean, there's some things we're happy with, and some things we got to get better at.
Just what are those things right now that you're looking at?
I think you got to take care of the basketball better. Probably need to shoot the ball when we're open better. And again, I always think we can play harder and smarter, more together. Yeah, but I'm happy with our rebounding. I mean, our last 5 games, we averaged 40 rebounds a game. I'm happy with our free throw shooting. As a team, we shoot over 70%. I think I'm happy with the fact we're getting healthier. I'm happy with the fact that classes will be over in the next couple of days. We can practice a lot longer. I'm happy with the fact that maybe Gage will start to practice now. A month from now, I'll be happy with certain things and not. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be happy with everything. I mean, I just don't know if you, as a coach, I just don't know if you ever get happy with everything. So, but something else I'm happy about is the guys that I'm coaching. Like I'm happy about the guys that I'm coaching. So, it's give or take.
How much is that leadership right now? Just how much have you seen that improve over?
I think it's gotten better. With Tulio and Lamont and Kabir, I think that leading by example has gotten better over the last week. And then when you look at guys like maybe Gage Prim and Lamont and maybe Demonte Black having more of a voice, because those are guys that are talkers and high energy guys, and it's definitely something that we're emphasizing for sure. Everyone's a leader because everyone has influence, but it's not where it needs to be, and I'm not sure it will get where it needs to be again in the coach's eye. I mean, if it was at a 9, I'd want it at a 10. If it was at a 10, then I'd probably say, well, man, let's see if we can get this thing to an 11. But it definitely needs to be better and more consistent, I think, is the biggest word.
Is Gage, he didn't play the other day, you said, will he go tomorrow night?
Yeah, 100% play tomorrow.
Any other injuries right now? Did you come to a decision on Jared?
No, I mean, after these finals are over, we're going to sit down with Jared and see what he wants to do and try to take it from there. Tulio Silva, he's got a hurt ankle. He did not practice yesterday. I think he'll practice tomorrow. Today. I can't anticipate him not playing. I mean, I think he's going to play for sure. I'm 99.9% sure.
Was that the defensive ankle?
Yeah. And, I feel bad because it actually swelled up a little bit.
When you were playing, like in going through finals week,
Yeah.
What's the challenge there? And
You don't want to have to play in finals week because when I was playing, a percentage of your grade, it was a big percentage of your grade. Let's say you had a C going into a final, and that final was worth 15% or 20%, and then you blew it. Now you got a D for the class, and I don't really know if it's that way now. I don't look at all these syllabi that we get, but I didn't enjoy it at all. And ideally, we wouldn't be playing in the middle of finals week, but scheduling is just very difficult, and this is the day that we have to play. And I like to not be playing such a good opponent. I mean, this team's really good. They're 7-2, like I mentioned, with some really good wins. And maybe this would be a week that you may want to play a team that you felt like you'd be a little bit more comfortable with if you played bad and you still won. But it's not a good feeling as a player, I'm sure. And because I just think studying for finals takes a lot out of you from a mental standpoint. That's why we only practiced an hour yesterday. We'll practice an hour today because they're just wiped. And Keandre Cook has 2 finals tomorrow on a game day. So I mean, it's not ideal.
on the flip side, though, is it a stark reminder that, like in the real world, you might have 2 meetings one day and you still got to get a lot done. Like you're playing a basketball game,
You can't. It's not a picture-perfect world. To whom much is given, much is required. And these guys are playing at a tradition-rich program, and they're getting treated about as well as we can treat them. And they got a game tomorrow, and they need to play well.
Everybody academically okay? I mean, you're not going to have any casualties.
As far as I know, yeah. I mean, I'd know more after going into finals, but I would hope that everybody's fine. I don't do their work for them, so I won't know until the finals.
With Gage's injury, is this something that you guys were aware of when he came into the program, or is this something that came about?
This came about 2 days before the season opener. Actually, maybe our exhibition game, that day, I think I got an email about it. The day of the exhibition game or the day before. Whenever we had the tip-off luncheon over at the Bass Pro deal was the day I found out about it. Actually, when I was walking into that tip-off luncheon, I found out about it. Yeah. So, no, this is not something we knew about.
Is this something where, is he that good that he can just not practice and get on the floor and ball as hard as he can?
I don't think anybody's that good where they don't have to practice.
Yeah.
But I think the question becomes, are we better with him or without him, whether or not he practiced or not? And the answer to that is easy. We're better with him. So if you want him in games, then you got to hold him out of practice right now until it heals to the standpoint to where it doesn't get hurt by practicing. See, when you practice, you get way more reps than in a game. I mean, practice is 2.5 hours of pounding the same thing over and over and over. In games, you have adrenaline, you have subs. It's just an easier process in the game. And so it's easier for him to play right now than practice. And that helps us a little bit because we're better with him. But I do anticipate him getting to the point where he can at least practice, once a week. And when league play gets here, we'll play twice a week. Like right now, he's playing once every 10 days. He hasn't done anything with the team since December 3rd. That was a game against Murray State. He played 26 minutes. Prior to that, I don't think he did anything with the team after Charleston. So the last 20 days, he's been on the court with the guys one time. I mean, our players aren't NBA players. I mean, they're kids. They need practice and they get better. And right now, we're just kind of weeding through that.
Can you, I know you don't, is it a knee, is it a foot?
It's a leg.
It's a leg, just a leg.
Yeah, both legs, yeah.
Okay.
Is the schedule weird? I always thought from like a coach's standpoint, it's weird how you got like, you start the season, then you have Thanksgiving. Kind of restart the season, then you have, Christmas. Then you restart the season and bang, you're right into conference play. Like where are these guys at, in terms of just like staying focused through this next kind of big break?
Yeah, so what we do is we kind of say you have 4 seasons. You have preseason, which is a lot of practice, and a couple exhibition games most of the time, maybe a scrimmage, and then you have your non-league, and then you have your league, then you have postseason. So that's, 4 seasons, and we don't really break those up inside. We kind of just take it one day at a time. I know when classes are over, basketball starts to become more of a priority. Not that it's not, but when guys are in class, we have to make class a priority. Like, so if a kid needs to go extra credit or study more, he's got to miss some practice time to do that, or you got to schedule practice around that. So I think this time of year, you get a group that's a little bit more focused on basketball just because they don't have class. But at the same time, you don't practice them for 4 hours just because you can. It's just, every team every year is different because certain things can happen. But once you start to get into a flow of what you do and how you do it, I think that's when you can get those guys really laser focused in. I think our guys are still trying to get that tunnel vision. You look at Josh Hall, I think he's starting to kind of narrow in on what his role is and how he can help us. Keandre Cook's pretty narrowed in. Then you got some guys that, just have to accept it and narrow in. So I think with each passing day that it's getting a little bit clearer for this group. The challenge for our group is, we've played 10 games and 8 out of those 10, you got to play. I mean, you can't just go out there. I mean, against Mississippi Valley State, I guess we second half, we went out there, and even against them, I mean, you got to play. You can't just go out there. No matter how good someone else thinks you are or you're supposed to be, you got to go out there and play. So I think that's something that our group is, buying into more and more each day. And as a coach, you would hope you wouldn't have to teach that, but each year is different. And whatever it is required to teach as a coach, that's what you got to do.
You guys already practiced today or later?
Later today. Guys are in finals all the way up until, I want to say 4 o'clock, I think is when we go today.
So you got to run? Do you have to run today? I heard you tell Art last night you're doing the running
we
now.
turn the ball over in practice now, I run.
Oh, it's in practice when you turn.
In practice. If they turn it over, I run. Yeah.
Why?
Because when I make them run for turned over, it hadn't worked. So I'm a coach. I'm just trying to get the turnovers over.
Is it something just to make you more mad? What's kind of the?
Get some
We've turned it over so much that I'm past getting mad. I'm just, I'm sacrificing my own body for the turnovers because I want to win that bad. I like to win. I mean, it's just that. I mean, if we average 12 turnovers a game right now, we'd average 5 more points a game. We've lost 4 games by 4 points or less. We'd have 1 loss right now if we turned the ball over 3 less times. It's just that simple. So I know our team is good. We just turned the ball over a little. 3 times too many. We turned the ball over 3 times too many, and whatever it takes for a coach to get that over or down is what I'm willing to do. And the next thing I've thought about is me running. So when they turn it over, I'll run to the top of the arena and come back down, which is a long way, especially for an out of shape 35-year-old.
Are you to the point maybe changing personnel on the?
No, our last game, Dan, every player that we played had a turnover in the first half. You want me to put you in?
No, I couldn't run to the first level.
I mean, personnel. I mean, Coach Rowe, you want to go in? I mean.
If you think those steps are long for you, I don't even think.
Exactly. So it's not a personnel. It's it's just we don't have. Okay, so we don't have playmaking guards. I mean, but that doesn't mean you have to turn the basketball over. We don't have a team that's really fast and good in transition. We have a big team that needs to be stronger with the ball. We don't have big athletic point guards. We got small, solid point guards, and we just need to be solid. So it's not rocket science. It's just, accepting who you are and understanding that that's good enough. And I anticipate that will happen.
Talking about Josh, he's pretty much played his entire life. Last year, he sits out in red shirts. How do you think that helped him seeing the game from that vantage point?
I think it helped him a lot. Anytime you can get a front row look and see some things, I think it helps you in terms of, mentally preparing for the game. You always get more confidence the older you get, whatever it is you're doing. Josh is a hybrid forward, meaning, he doesn't do one thing well, but he can do a lot of different things good. And, he's really a utility player, a glue guy, an extra effort guy. And what we found out is late in games, he makes winning plays. And he made one in St. Joe's, offensive rebound, made his free throw. He made one the other night defensively against Murray State. And obviously he's known for his play against Cincinnati. But he's very valuable in the sense of what type of kid he is, what type of teammate he is, and the fact that he can impact winning. And that's where his value is. And we're lucky to have someone like him. And not every player impacts winning like he does. And we just got to continue to put him in a good position to help us win.
We touched on Demonte Black. Just what have you seen in him that's led you to putting him in the starting lineup? I mean, he was kind of looked at as a third option on his high school team, and now he's starting for you guys, first one of them.
Yeah, all that stuff prior to here doesn't matter. All that stuff. Like even a guy like Gage being a junior college All-American, that doesn't matter when you get here. No one we're playing against cares about that. And, with Demonte, I just feel like he plays for the name on the front of the jersey, and that's really important to me, and I think it should be important to all of our guys. And I'm not a lip service coach. If I think you're supposed to play more as a team, I'm going to play the guys I feel like are the best teammates, and he's definitely one of the best teammates we got on the team, and so he's earned the right to be out there.
Tomorrow's the Azzurri Sports Hall of Fame basketball luncheon. You addressed that crowd last year. I guess what would you just tell that? That's going to be a big room. Usually sets a new record each year in terms of people and the love that Southwest Missouri has for the game.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think they're honoring Coach Spoonhour tomorrow,
Yeah.
Which obviously, he is the best men's coach, or one of the best men's coaches to ever coach here. I think last year, anytime the word Hall of Fame is associated with your name, you're in rare territory there. And just a privilege and an honor to even be, involved with something like that. And one of the best things about coaching here is the fact that this community, loves basketball or has loved it in the past. A very educated fan base and as far as I know, a loyal fan base. But I think it's important that, the kids that play here understand, the reason why this program is the way it is. And it's because of people like Coach Spoonhour and other members of the Hall of Fame. And I know Mr. Andrews does a great job with that. And I'm actually going to be there tomorrow for a little bit, although it is a game day. Just to share in that time, in that moment, because basketball is important to this part of the country, and this is a basketball state. I think when you start breaking down all the sports, it's a basketball state, and I think our area right here in the Ozarks is as tradition rich as any, whether it be all different levels, high school, college, men's, women's, doesn't matter. It's had its fair share of success, so I think it's really important.
And when you talk about places like Murray State and you guys are going to VCU, do you think that their fan bases that pack the place night in, night out, that's strictly because of their March Madness success or getting to the tournament?
Oh, I think that's that's the heaviest part of it. That's the heaviest part. That's what makes that happen. Yes. If you have a program consistently going to the NCAA tournament, you're going to get great crowds. And then if you have one, like ours, we haven't been in 20 years, you're not going to get great crowds. It's, fans are, we're all fans. Like, I'm a fan of the Chicago Bulls, but I haven't watched a game in 10 years because we haven't been in playoffs, and I'm a diehard Bulls fan. But if we're not winning, I'm just not there. I'm just disconnected. Everybody loves a winner. Now, I'm not one of those fans that'll come out and say something because I'm not the one putting in the blood, sweat, and tears for the Bulls, right? If it was that easy, I'm sure the Bulls players would do it. So everybody wants to win. I get it. But at those universities, they've won in recent years. So it's easy to cheer for a winner, man. I mean, that's easy. You just show up and yah, yah, yah. I mean, we could all do that, you know. But those programs, rightfully so, have earned that. And but that's also why we're going to play those teams too, because I want our players to see that. You know, I want our players to see, you know, like a Buffalo. You know, this year we played Buffalo, and everyone's saying we're better than Buffalo. We're not better than Buffalo. They've been in the NCAA tournament 3 straight years. Their starting backcourt beat Arizona. We're not better than Buffalo, but we're right there. You know, I mean, if we do a couple different things, we're right there, and I want our guys to see that. So, you know, VCU will be a great experience, which I'm not thinking about them right now, but you mentioned VCU, and I think everyone who has the opportunity to watch a game there or be at a game there should try to do that, because it's a special place. Mm-hmm.